Okay, we only have 40 minutes and we have so much to cover. My name is Linda Nelson and I'm the Director of Business Development at Memorial Hermann the Woodlands Medical Center, and marketing falls under me. And I also on the Township Board of Directors for the Woodlands. So happy to have this whole conference brought to the Woodlands. A good amount of people are here. And I think I'll just be quiet for one more minute. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, so we don't spend a lot of time with bios. I'm just going to really quickly. Amanda Wood is all the way to my right. She's the owner of Avail Marketing. In the center is Jennifer Bruse. She's the owner and founder of Hello Woodlands. And then closest to me is Ann Wolford, and she's president of the Wolford Group. We have lots of questions, but we're hoping that through conversations, a lot of them will be answered. Marketing is a very tricky, expensive part of a business. I know I spend a lot of money in marketing, but I'm a big business. A billboard on 45 with changeouts for a year could be $120,000. So as a small business, obviously that's not up your alley, but these people are going to help you find ways to maybe market on a shoestring if possible. And that actually will be our first question, and it's going to go to Ann. Well, first, Ann, tell us a little bit about you.
So I'm Ann Wolford. I'm the president of the Wolford Group, and we work specifically with nonprofit organizations to help them be as profitable as possible, help them raise as much money as possible, and we do that in multiple ways: board development, identification, event management, marketing plans, fundraising plans, capital campaigns, things like that. So nonprofits are businesses, and I come from the corporate world, but have focused on nonprofit marketing. We're in the nonprofit world for the past 25 years in my career.
Thank you. Jennifer?
Hi, my name's Jennifer Bruse. I am the owner and founder of Hello Woodlands. Hello Woodlands is a local news source that shares everything about news and events all around the Woodlands area and also Montgomery County. And Tiffany is right here. It's a great director of content. We work with small businesses and corporations to advertise, but in my personal background, so I've been an entrepreneur since 2010. I've owned social media marketing agencies, worked in digital marketing agencies. I was a crazy YouTuber at one time, but my degree's in finance. And so I love to talk about numbers, and also had to cut down those numbers because we did not have investors. We did everything out of our own pocket. And so I love to share my tips with you based on that fact.
And Amanda?
Hi, I'm Amanda Wood. I'm the owner and CEO of Avail Marketing. I've been a solopreneur for 5+ years until just this year, and I'm super excited. McKenna is here with me today. She's my associate. And we do full-fledged marketing services. We're basically a full-fledged agency, but we run really lean ourselves. So I'm very excited to be here. Small businesses are our bread and butter. We love them. Probably 90% of our clientele are small businesses. And so we do anything from social media, PR, full-fledged marketing strategy. We like to look at the holistic picture of businesses, and we pride ourselves on storytelling. So we like to tell stories and come up with really creative campaigns to tell stories through that and get your marketing out there and branding.
So you can see this is a great panel, so take notes and feel free to ask questions at any time. So we're going to start with Ann. And Ann, what are the best tips that you can give to us marketing on a budget, which most people in here have probably a very limited budget for marketing?
So yes, I think as a fellow small business, marketing is something that you have to do. There are so many ways to go about it, but there are some simple rules that you can follow before you even start your marketing program, your marketing plan. Think about the 5 whys, and that's something easy to remember. So start with the first thing: who are you trying to market to? So this sounds pretty basic, but honestly, don't waste your time if you don't know who your audience is. So who are you marketing to? What sets your business apart? Why would someone choose your business? I say this to my nonprofits all the time. People have options of places to give. Why would they give to your business? So it's just like making a sale. Why would people support your business or come to you for services? And who's handling the marketing for you? That's a really important question to ask. Do you have the budget to outsource with someone like a Jen or Amanda? So think about that when you're talking about your what. And then when, the practical things. If you're using social media, what is timely? Like, what's timely and when would you post? When are you going to reach your audience the best? Traffic on the internet is probably between 8 and 2, probably your most popular times where there's the most traffic on the internet. And then where are you going to market? You know, and I think people always think about social media. So what channels are going to make a difference to you? If you're focusing a lot on social media, do you even have followers? I mean, it's a little pointless if you're putting a ton of content out there and no one's following your channel. So think about how you can invest in targeting and creating and bringing new people to your channel so they can see your message. And then why? Why are you marketing to these people to begin with? What is your desired outcome? What is your call to action? I think sometimes people put information out there and it's a very one-way street. Find out how you can add value to the people coming to your channel or a person looking at your email. Give them tips from a pro. You know, maybe you're in the plumbing business. Remember this, when the freeze is coming, you can do these top 5 things to preserve your pipes. Something that's going to be a relationship-driven exchange. So you're providing value to them, and it gives you a reason to come back to your information. Finally, as far as on a budget, you have to have a viable, compelling, easy to navigate website. That's where your money is going to be best spent if you have any money at all to spend. That's your greatest investment.
Yeah, you go for it.
So I love to talk about cutting money because it's, you know, as someone that started up with so many business, I think a lot of us did, just with nothing. And so you want to showcase whatever your service is, your product, your company, whatever you do, with a limited amount of money. I mean, yes, of course, we all hope to spend $10,000 on a website. We all want a YouTube show. We want all these great things, but I see so many business owners doing all that and getting in great debt because of that. But do you really need to do that? It's all about baby steps. I know there's so many marketing gurus that have risen to the top and have millions of followers and telling you, you have to pump out content every day. You have to spend all this much money on all these things. I'm like, well, when are you going to run your business? So you do not, I'm just going to give you permission. You do not have to do all the things that they're telling you you have to do. You might never have to do them, or it may be one baby step at a time. A lot of people that sometimes they're even so small that they don't even have the budget, or they don't need to reach the wide reach that Hello Woodlands does, like as advertising on our company. However, you still, no matter what budget you have, you can start with Facebook and Instagram ads. You don't have to have content on your channels. All you have to do is set up advertising for at little as $5 to $10. You can actually set up ads, direct them to your website, and you can start getting customers today. And so you have to look at what is your budget? What are your goals? What can you responsibly spend? Because you need a marketing budget. You might not want to hire a videographer, which is a really great, honestly, you think you can do it all. You realize soon you can't. However, is it more financially feasible for you and your company to hire a videographer maybe once a quarter, or do you learn those skills yourself over time because you truly enjoy that, and because, so everyone on our team is a photographer. Thankfully, Tiffany went to school for that, but we're self-taught. And so we're self-taught. I'm a finance major. My husband worked for the DOJ. So we self-taught how to do photography. It didn't happen overnight. I was a videographer. Very quickly overnight, became a YouTube kind of whatever. And so but it took baby steps. And so we taught our skills, and thankfully we have certifications. Get a writing certification, learn how to write press releases. So it's amazing how much we can teach ourselves and save some money, especially if you don't have that budget. So think of your options so you don't have to spend all this money. We have a dream. That would be great if we could have that, but it's all about baby steps because I want you to be a long-term entrepreneur, just not someone that burned out and used all your money and became into debt.
Jennifer, you mentioned the Facebook, and I think Facebook changed their way for businesses a little bit just recently. Can you just talk briefly about
All the
that?
time.
Yeah, so there's, the one thing that Facebook evolves and changes, and they own Instagram as well, and they have all different types of resources, and they want you to spend money with them. They really do. And so it is, over the last couple years, Facebook is the way that you use Facebook is different. We used to be able to post something, all your followers saw it. Wasn't that nice? We had no idea how good it was when it was back then, but now it's very much pay to play, and there are lots of rules and regulations on what you are able to post and not post, and I think Amanda definitely can talk a little bit more on that and some of the rules and regulations, but and very specifically on what you are allowed to advertised. And so you have to make sure that does that fall in their rules and regulations? What contest are you allowed to do? So there are some in what industries you are in, especially if you're doing employment or if you're doing politics or if you're doing if you have a liquor store, you have to be very careful on what you advertise in that sector. But there's several different things that you can do. There's still a lot of opportunities on Facebook and Instagram. So you can clearly set up a business page. You can put just $5 in and just start doing that behind the scenes so it doesn't show up on your actual feed to all of your followers, but all of those target market. The fun thing about it, I just say fill in the blanks. And so whenever you're in the ad, kind of Facebook ad, kind of meta suite is that they would like to call it, you can actually target people based on where they live, where they work, what their interests are they parents of 2-year-olds? Like these are things that are very, very kind of, you can niche down so that way you actually can reach your target audience. And so there's a lot of different ways, but I think probably Amanda can speak a little bit more on that too as well.
Sure. Oh, sorry. So I meant to say I have a little bit of a sore throat, so I apologize if I squeal every now and then. But yes, definitely to elaborate a little bit more on what they've both said. I always like to say whatever you do, do it well for small businesses. So don't feel like you have to be on all the social media channels. Which ones work best for you? And there's lots of different things to go in on that. But social media is also free. So social media is great, and I think that's why we all flock to it. However, there's other free things you can do. Other emailing is, a lot of people pulled away from email marketing a long time ago, so I kind of feel like it's coming back. I think people really enjoy seeing an email that's personalized from your small business to let them know some success stories you've had or new hires you've had or new business, new products, new services that you're offering now. So those are all great things, and those are all free. Those can be free at least. Another thing in a way that I kind of got started was networking. It's you have to throw yourself out there, but I think that's actually how I met all of these ladies was from networking, from Canopy, from probably the Chamber and Women of Distinction, and we met long, long ago with American Cancer Society. Literally met all these ladies through networking and through nonprofits. So that's just a passion of mine that I have, but that was also, I didn't expect it, but it was something that came along with my business where I networked through volunteering. So that was something that I just love to do. One other thing I'll add is I always like to say business cards, although a lot of people think that we're kind of going away from business cards, and that's fine if you want to use LinkedIn and grab your phone and use your QR code to get someone's contact information. That's very smart to do because you're already connected online digitally through social media. But business cards are like the cheapest form of advertising. You can get 1,000 business cards for $75. So that's something that I like to tell everyone because it's also a leave behind that you give them, and that even if they have to take it and they go throw it in the trash, hopefully they've glanced at your name or your logo and something will stick in their head. Or if you've got a QR code on your business card, which I am doing for almost all of my clients, hopefully they scan that and they get your information in their phone.
Like Steve Wright gave an example earlier where he, networking, ran into somebody and then he found out he had some cyber issues and called him, and he's one of his best customers right now. So yes, I think networking is inexpensive and for sure a way to get your name out. Amanda, while we're talking with you, let's talk about social media channels. What do you think are the best ways that a small business should go?
Sure. So, like I said, whatever you do, do it well. So to elaborate on that, think about not what social media you are comfortable with and what you personally use. You have to think about what your audience or potential audience is using, and also base that on what products or services you're selling. If you are selling something that is super visual, like a restaurant, then Instagram is amazing for you because Instagram is a visual social media platform. And video, if you're doing any sort of video, then jump on YouTube because you might as well get a YouTube channel just to post your videos and link them to that. So it all depends on what social media channel it works best for what you're doing. It's kind of the easy way to go about it.
Jennifer, do you have any comments on that?
And so, and if you could just do me, I know that some people might in the room be like, I hate social media, I want nothing to do with it. If you could just do yourself a favor, the one thing that I suggest a lot of people that don't really want to use social media at all, if you could at least, I know that we hear about a lot of big social media platforms, you know, there's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's Instagram, there's TikTok, there's all these Pinterest, there's all these different things. And so as you hear about the big platforms that come up, one thing that you can do that's completely free, but at least protects your name and your company name brand, is go to each one of those platforms and at least reserve and sign up to have an account under your company name. So like Hello Woodlands, we don't use TikTok, but I have a TikTok account that I just kind of forget away about, but we signed up for it and I receive notifications. And so anything happens with that account, I will know about it, but at least Hello Woodlands has that TikTok name so no one else can steal it.
It's a good way to protect your brand.
Yeah.
It's for your brand protection, because if someone else steals Hello Woodlands, like how many years is it going to be that I either have to pay for them for my name back, or get them to switch it over my account? Same thing with your personal name, especially if you're a podcaster, if you're a soon-to-be author, or even if you're a marketing person or just a CEO of the company. If your name has not been locked, if you haven't reserved an account under one of those accounts, someone could steal your name, and so your author name may have to be Jennifer K. Bruse or Jen Bruse. You know, it might have to be different if you decide to launch marketing one day. So you might not like that platform, but you might one day use it, and so just protect yourself. They talked about security earlier. This is one more form of security. There should be a little checkbox on the settings. Say, I want notifications to this phone number, this email, set up what they talked about, two-step verification processes, so that way you're emailed if someone tries to hack into your account. And so that, at the very least, you can do that even if you don't do all the things. And kind of going back to what I said before, is you don't have to do all the platforms. And yes, you can post the exact same content on also same platforms just to reach it out. There's several services that you can pre-schedule posts, like Sprout Social, Hootsuite, so that you could do it all at one time. But if you have videos, post it on or make a clip out of it. So there's multiple ways that you can reuse a 5-minute video, just in different facets. So you can learn more about each one of the platforms. I find that in the Woodlands and Montgomery County, especially for ages from 35 to 55, or just pretty much between anybody, Facebook and Instagram has been our probably most successful platforms in reaching a large amount of people. We reach always above 1 million viewers every single month. And so between those two platforms, that gets a lot of the views that we get. And it's not only Montgomery County, because we're a Woodlands business. However, it's all across the Houston area and all across the world. And so, and in a lot of the companies that are relocating or just looking at our sources, they're looking at us too. And so social media, it's amazing. You might not think that LinkedIn or certain things will not reach your clientele, but it might one day. And so don't neglect something just because it isn't serving you today.
Anne, any comments?
I was just going to say, social media can be intimidating and time-consuming, but it is a necessary tool. It's probably one of the key tools you can use. What I always tell my clients is just be consistent. If you can only post one post a week, do it with everything you got and make it an amazing post. That's number one. One of the things we do for our clients is we create a content calendar. We work with them to create content calendars, and we take just an intensive amount of time, like maybe 3 hours in a day, and we write out, we schedule out for the month. Here are the messages, we're going to have a sale here. There's Memorial Day coming up. We're going to have a sale on flags. I mean, whatever it is. And we schedule that out and then use things like Hootsuite or Sprout Social to have those go out automatically. We also do things like collect archives or a folder full of photography. So go out, catch those images. If you're here today and you're a small business owner, you need to be taking pictures of yourself in front of the step and repeat and blasting that out on social media to let people know you're advancing your skills and knowledge in the business area.
When someone's trying to decide between Instagram or TikTok, or what would make them decide which one they're working with? Is it the content that the people that you're working, trying to target?
It's where your audience is.
Yeah.
It's finding your audience.
And then your content, what your content is and what you're posting.
And also with Instagram and TikTok, I know a lot of people probably know what I think about TikTok. I'm not a big fan of TikTok for business, but but a lot of our clients do use TikTok. A lot of our clients use both. They just post both at the same time. Or they'll take TikTok and then reschedule it back on their Instagram stories or Instagram. So they do that quite a bit. It's the same content. They're just posting it different ways. A lot of time I'm finding that a lot of small business owners, they're like, okay, I'm going to do it TikTok. You are a small business owner. You're not a comedian. You're not an entertainment. If you want to do that, that's fine. You can make money. I've done that before. You get sponsors. You build a YouTube show. You build a TikTok enterprise. That is a different mindset than what you're selling. If you're a small business, brick and mortar business, you can be funny. You can have a personality. That's why people love you. But don't create a comedy show on TikTok and think it's going to get you business in the local economy. Yes, you might get millions of views, and yes, it might help you, but you have to decide, are you going to spend your time being a star on YouTube and TikTok, or are you going to run a business and you want leads? Being famous is not the same thing as making money. I know, I've been famous and broke, so please, so there's nothing wrong with having a YouTube show. I think it's very effective. TikTok can be very effective, but just realize, why am I doing this? Kind of going back to what Amanda did say. I mean, why am I doing this? Why are we doing this? Like, why are we using this campaign? Why are we using this platform? And so just make sure you have, especially what Ann said, and going through those who, what, where, when, why. And so making sure you have a plan before you execute and spend all this time using either platform for sure.
You mentioned mindset, and I think that's exactly right. Think about the mindset of what people are doing when they're using specific social media channels. A lot of people viewing TikTok are looking for entertainment, right? They're looking for fun things to do. I'm not a big TikTok person, but McKenna is. And so we talk about it, and she tells me all these things. She said, oh, I saw this on TikTok. And so I'm like, why is that on TikTok? I don't understand. But it's a demographic. She's much younger than I am, so I understand. And they're very short videos. So maybe you do create a longer video, but you pull something fun out of it, and you can put that on a reel, or you can put that on a TikTok if you have TikTok. But think about what your mindset is. I love that you said the word mindset, because it's exactly right. It's what are the people who have their phone in front of them and they're sitting on their couch and they're scrolling? What are they scrolling and looking for? What are they going to stop on? Think about what content can you put on any social media channel that's going to make them stop. Not necessarily TikTok. It could be in an awesome article that's on LinkedIn.
So speaking of LinkedIn, I know I've started to use that a lot with business, and I'm just really surprised how many followers we receive very, very quickly. And then it seems like the more I respond to people or like or make comments, I'm moving, more and more people are coming. I use that strictly for business, but I have just recently started using it, and I really am finding it to be beneficial. Okay, so now we do all these things. We're not spending a lot of money, but we're doing channels, and we think we are doing everything right. So Jennifer, ROI, you tell us, how do you figure out, is it working or not?
This is one of my favorite questions. So return on investment, just so you guys know in my background also, I used to be an internal auditor for an oil and gas company and an IT and financial background. So like all the spreadsheets, all the numbers, I get excited.
You
But
really use both sides of your brain, huh?
Yeah.
You love numbers, but you're creative too. I don't get it
Super.
because I don't do numbers at all.
She's a unicorn.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
actually
unicorn for
use
sure.
Hello Woodlands for a lot, and the amount of information and analytics she sends, it's like, oh my God, it's Jennifer again.
She
And-
loves them.
Loves it.
I get a little excited. My husband calls me a geek, but we've embraced that now. But the one thing is, like I said, but like you can spend so much money and all this time on doing all these things, that everything that you should be doing, and they can be awesome. But seeing if it actually works is, because I always tell people that we're working with, or just even if we're on a video shoot, if we're just interviewing something, I'm like, we can all do all these fancy things, but if no one sees it and no one buys the product at the end of the day, why are we doing this? Like, if it's a nonprofit and we're trying to raise funds or just awareness and no one sees it, or no one, acts on what we're trying to portray, or if it's a news article that we're writing and doesn't have passion, and it doesn't have truth, and it doesn't have a purpose, then why are we spending all this money writing all these blogs, writing all these news articles, writing all these things? Because it's a lot of time. You can you can just yourself spend all day long doing social media just for your own company. So why do you spend certain time? Because your time is still valuable too. It is an asset. It is a financial part of your business, whether or not because you're giving your energy. You might not be spending money. Time is energy, and I'm an introvert at heart, and so using time and energy, I get replenished being at home. So I have to decide what I'm going to do with my time and networking, and what not to do. So ROI. So getting very techie about it, since we started about social media, one of the things that you can do is look at followers is great. Engagement is what is important, because you can have, like I said, 10 million followers, but only 5 people click on your ad and only 1 person buys your product. That is not fun. And it's not profitable and doesn't pay you money. So using a way to track engagement is important. One very easy and free tool that we use just to track engagement for all of our campaigns on social media, or on an ad on our email newsletter, or an ad on our website, or a campaign on our website, or maybe even a link in our article to see if people are clicking on it, is Bitly, or another third-party service that actually tracks the clicks. It's as simple as that. You go to Bitly, which is bit.ly. You can put any link that you want to use for a campaign. If you want to get real fancy with it, do a different link or a different type of landing page for each one of your campaigns to see which one works the best. And then you see what type of engagement you get over the period of time. Did people react? Now on your website, hopefully you have Google Analytics, that if you have Google Analytics, make sure you have done the update, because on July 1st, they are updating it again to GA4, so which is, I think they'll automatically move us, but Google Analytics is fantastic because it is a free service, yet again, that tells you who is visiting your website. Where did they come from? Did they come from Google? Did they come from social media? Was it a direct lead? Did they literally just type in your domain on your website? What age are they? What gender are they? What do they like to do? All these great things. So you have so much data of where your traffic is coming from, which is important, because if you're spending money on advertising and they're coming from Hello Woodlands, guess what? HelloWoodlands.com should be showing up as a referral to your website. Or I provide our clients reports based on Google Analytics, based on the traffic. They have personal dashboards on our website, because I can sell advertising all day long and promote your business all day long, but if we don't have engagement, yes, you'll get 100,000 views easy within 1 month. Not a problem. That's easy. That's what our lowest client sometimes gets. However, if you don't get clicks and engagement, and people aren't going and reacting to your ads, so all this money and time and effort that you've put into creating these ads or these posts, are people engaging on it? Of course, you can boost posts. Of course, you can do that. But are you using the right messages to do that? Also, having realistic expectations about ROI. Usually, you're not going to see results within 1 day or 1 month. We all love fancy things. Sometimes you get it the next day. You do a networking thing, they call you, you land the deal. Isn't that nice? Usually that does not happen for me. I agree. I hope it happens for you. But sometimes there are some people that have followed Hello Ones for 5 years and they just became a client because we had to build their trust. And so we have short-term ROI, looking at social media or online platforms or even advertising. The reason why we sell shorter terms than this, but sometimes you see, hey, I have to be in a 12-month contract or a 6-month contract with an SEO company to build my blogs. It's because it won't work before then. Mm-hmm. They're not evil. They're not trying to take your money. Definitely do your due diligence and look at the reviews, make sure they're a good company. But sometimes things take time. Advertising takes time. You're not only creating quick leads, which is a quick ROI. So what am I going to get in when 1 month? What do I expect within 1 month? But what also is a quarter that I expect? Look at the 6 months. Look at the year. Look at 5 years. So you need a plan of really realistic expectations. But using digital, thankfully, we are able to track a lot more, or even having and asking for reports for people that you do spend money on. And so there's so much data that you can collect. And thankfully, we use a lot of that data because not only am I selling advertising space to people, I can't sleep at night knowing that it doesn't work. I need to know that it works. And so that engagement is what you're looking for. And just sometimes you just have to ask people, where did you find me? And sometimes you're going to have to accept the fact of, I found you on the internet. Where? So sometimes they saw you on Facebook. They looked at your website. They heard about you from a friend. They saw an ad on Hello Woodlands. You have to sometimes realize and look at the data and say, hey, all of these things work together to make this sale. And of course, your budget determines, is your ROI matching what you can actually afford? So sometimes you can tolerate the gray area. Okay, I don't know if this is quite working, but I think it is, so we're gonna go a little bit longer. Or I don't have the budget with this. I can't see the data aligning with this. We're gonna pause that and move on and maybe try it again next time. So my rule of thumb is always try it twice. Sometimes the first time in marketing or advertising does not work. And so, of course, if you've been burned by someone, yes, move on. But if it's a platform, if it's a system, if it's a option, try it again. It might just be that ad. It might be a bad time of the day. It might be a bad season. Maybe everyone went on vacation and didn't want to look at your ads. It's sometimes you just have to try different things, and that's the thing.
Amanda, what about a QR code? You're seeing that more and more. What do you think about that?
First, I find it funny because I was in college and we were talking about QR codes, and now all of a sudden they're back around for a few years now. But use them to your advantage for sure. They don't work too great on the computer. I've had some people wanting to put them on social media ads or on an email signature and stuff, and sometimes it's really hard for your phone to scan the computer. It makes it look really weird and pixelated. And on social media, you'll be able to embed a link somewhere, so you don't really need them there. But print materials, yes, absolutely. I love seeing commercials. I live in Austin now, but just moved there 6 months ago. So I'm here all the time, and clients are here. In Austin, there's a local car dealership, so I had to tell my husband, who works in that industry, and they had a QR code on the screen, and it took up half the TV screen on a TV ad. And it said, scan here to see our used car or pre-owned car inventory. I was like, brilliant. I'm like, why aren't y'all doing this? You should do this. So I love QR codes, but just make sure you're using them in the best way.
I wish, Brian, we had 400 more hours because reputation management, this was not something that we discussed, but no one does anything without reading reviews. So do any of you have any thoughts about, if nothing else, how to retrieve a bad review that's out there that's really doing damage to a company that they don't even realize?
Always respond. It doesn't matter. We actually, we had a nail salon that we were managing their social media for a really long time, and then along one light item was that we also did for them was manage their reviews. Being a brick and mortar B2C company, they have clients, hundreds that come in their doors every single day. So their reputation is huge, And we would respond to every review, no matter what it said, 1 star. You know, people would say, I wish I could put 0 stars. Respond is the biggest thing. Reputation management is huge.
And I think one of the things that we used to set up with our clients when I ran a digital marketing agency is we were on the offense. And so we were ready when there was going to be, it's not if, it's when. Just like kind of getting hacked or having cybersecurity. It's when is someone going to get mad, or is there just someone that's going to act like they're a fake customer and try to destroy your business, or are they just really mad at something you did? People sometimes love news sources, and so we are prepared. There's a couple of things that you can do right now for reputation management. Write a document of 5 questions or sample kind of bad reviews that you might get. What are your professional responses? Because when you're ready, if that happens, hopefully it does not, you have a nice professional response back. You have a plan of action. So in the heat of the moment, you don't respond angry. If you do get an angry email, I give myself sometimes a 24-hour pass, and I have to kind of take a moment and do that, because you want to always be professional. Just because they have totally bashed you and said something absolutely horrible, always be professional. That is the one thing that you cannot change how they react, but you can definitely manage how you and your attitude reflects your company. You and your company reflects your business, no matter what you do, and they will always remember how you made them feel, even though they might have been the perpetrator to start with. And so have a list of great responses. Take it offline. Say, hey, can you please email me? Can we call you? I'm so sorry you had this experience. Can we have this conversation so we don't have this again? Or check, I'm so sorry we don't see that you're a customer. Can you please email me, because we want to make sure that you might not be on our records, or we have this resolved either way. So you are customer service. When social media happened, that became our online customer service 24/7 a day. There's a few things you can do also on Facebook and some other platforms. If there are some derogatory terms in your industry that you might not want to be said online, or just capture that comment before. Comments are also another way, not just reviews, that you can get slandered. I know I worked with a chiropractor, and quack was one of those words. And so we came up with a list of words or ex-employee names that might come up, and we put that in the blocked terminology thing that's in the setting. If you go into settings, you can actually block certain words. And so if that person tries to comment, it will block that comment or hide it, and so only them and you can see it. Also make sure that you are notified when you get on Google or on all the platforms. If you receive a new review, you are notified through email or whatever email that you are checking, and so that way you can automatically set it up. Also set an automatic response or a message on Instagram, on Facebook, and whatever platform that you have, even on your website. And so that way, sometimes just mitigating kind of if it is 12:30 at night and you are asleep and all your staff is not checking it, that way they are responded to automatically, and you might say, hey Jen, that's like not a person. But it's amazing how you can diffuse a situation or even make a potential customer feel loved and wanted by just even having an automatic response. And so setting up some tools before the bad things happen, but then also, like Amanda said, making sure to address. Do not just let it sit for months or try to hide it. And of course, if it is someone that's not your customer that's trying to take down your company, there are ways to contact Facebook and Instagram and so many different things in Google to make sure to verify it. And it might take some time, but you can do that. And if something horrible and you had a very bad customer service situation, there are ways, just like credit, to redeem your business. And so you can work on doing that. There are reputation management companies that can help you with that, or you can do it yourself. So definitely look into that.
So just going to a fundamental, because everything that you all said is so important, and I think it's probably happened to a good many of us where you don't get the greatest comment for one of your clients or whatever. But going back to the fundamentals, who's checking? That's the biggest thing for small business owners. Who is watching your social media account, and who is responsible for responding? I think that's important in any business, that you designate the person who's monitoring things, and then what is an approved response, and have that agreement going forward.
Great comments. I know our physicians, we always say, go online and check them and see what they're saying about you, because no one goes to see with a physician unless they check into them. So, Brian, can we be here for another hour, or do we have to close up right now? I know, it's time, I know. So, we don't have time for questions because Brian didn't give us enough time. But I do want to thank Jennifer, Ann, and Amanda. We're going to be around for a little while if you do have some questions. But wow, they're great, and a round of applause for them.